Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you all for joining me on Monday night, admittedly. So it's not the Sunday club, it is a Monday club. Oh, hang on a minute, let me turn that down. How is everybody? Who we got on? Hello Darius, hello Josh, hello Benjamin, hello JT. Great to have you with me. What a weekend we've had as the season is now really coming towards the end, isn't it? It really is coming towards the end. So it's all about it's essentially all about build up to the Euros now. We are what are we? 37, 38, 39 days away, coming up to a month, not far off being around about a month's time. So it's here. It is here. The excitement's starting. The weather is much better now. You know, in England, when the weather starts to get good, you've got a tournament to look forward to. FHUL, I know, it's so close. It is close. I just can't wait. I can't wait. And we're going to have a look tonight. Obviously, last week, we updated our squad. And I did say I was going to update it. I did put it on my community page. But let's get it up on tonight's channel. See where we got to. Because I think I watched it back and I summarised where I think we got to in terms of making our final 26-man squad. And I'm proud of it. I am proper proud of this squad because I think it's a cracking squad. So I want to share it. And just to make sure there's nothing there that I've missed. Charlie, good evening. Thank you, JT. Much too kind. Thank you so much. So I hope everyone's had a good weekend. I certainly have. It has been a good weekend. But I'm just going to play around in the background. I'm going to play around getting the squad up that I said I was going to share this evening. But before I go on to that, let's see who else is in the chat. Ricky Grimshaw, evening guys, hopefully everyone's good. England beat Nepal today, did they really? I've not seen that. Right, so I'm half actually, wait up guys, because I know this may not, I don't know where everyone's from in here, but I am going to have the snooker on above me. I know it's not England as such, but it's the final of the snooker, so I'll keep half an eye on that as well. Right, so last week, hang on. I've also got a drink somewhere. Hang on. I'm back. Jack Robinson, thank you so much. Well pleased with it. Yeah, I've only had this a couple of weeks. Ready for the Euros. I wanted something a bit more retro for the Euros. This was the shirt I loved growing up. This is the shirt. I've still got this shirt. I have actually got this shirt when I bought it at the time, and it's tiny now, obviously, so I can't fit in it. So I wanted it as an adult. I wanted to wear it again. I'm out of breath now. Glenn Hoddle was actually my favourite England manager. I already think Glenn Hoddle was on something. Yeah, he liked rowing. I mean, he chucked Beckham under a bus, didn't he? You've been watching much of the snooker this week, Gary? Super fight. Yeah, I love the snooker. Looks like it's going to probably finish early tonight, though. 16-10 now to Kyron. So those snooker fans that are in here, I'll try and keep you up to date if you've not got it on. Right, let me... It was World Cup 98. Let's have a look at the squad we decided on. There we go. Right. So here we are. So after last week, we spent a lot of time, didn't we, going through the motions of picking this squad. And this is what we come up with. I think it's what we come up with. And this is where I need you guys to come in. Sorry, I'm half distracted trying to figure out, make sure I've got this right. So we've got Pickford, Ramsdale and Butland. I'll be honest with you, Does anyone care? Does anybody care who the three other than Pickford? Does anybody really give a damn who the other two goalkeepers are? I'm that bored now because I think there's no one obvious. I wouldn't care less who I genuinely would not care less if you took another two goalkeepers other than Ramsdale and Butland. I genuinely won't. They won't play a minute. Let's move on. We've stuck with these. Yeah, we've stuck with them. It's as simple as that. Right. I think we've decided on Stones, obviously. Walker, Maguire, Trippier. We kept Chilwell in because we just feel like we're short at the back. Left back wise, so you thought, let's keep him in. Mark Gahey. Branthwaite is a player who came in, and Gomez. Just let me know if the signal's good on my... I'm not sure if my signal's coming through clearly or not, but let me know. Have you heard the trailer for the Euros anthem, which is released on the 10th of May? I haven't, actually, so I'll have to have a look at that. Nozza, decent team there, Gary. Darius, this England squad is stacked. Well, this is the squad that we all came together on last week, and I did finalise some decisions off stream because there were a few there where we couldn't make our mind up. I've chucked Branthwaite in. I think he's deserved his call up. And we'll come on to England Player of the Year this evening. I didn't put up the agenda, the topics for this evening, but England Player of the Year will be one of them. So Mark Gahey, Branthwaite and Gomez all coming. Now I think that's a strong defence. You've got Stones, Gomez, Branthwaite, Maguire, and arguably Walker, and Gahey for centre-back. Gomez can obviously play left-back. Chilwell left-back, Trippier, Walker. So there's options at right and left-back and options at centre-back. And I think there's a few players there that are very very flexible in the way they approach. JT, I'm getting some stream lag. Yeah, I don't know what it is tonight. I don't know if that's going to make any difference at all. Let me come off my internet. Right, there we go. I'm not sure if that's going to help. I've made some changes. Right, let me know. I mean, my playback on my YouTube isn't working, so let me know if you guys are actually receiving this or not. But essentially, Bellingham, Rice, Trent, Maddison, Mainu, Henderson, Palmer and Dyer come into midfield. So, I mean, Bellingham was always going to be there. Rice was always going to be there. Trent, midfield. Maddison, we debated about Maddison. We had a lot of debate about whether Maddison would make this squad. We've kept him in. Mainu was the obvious one who came in because on our previous squad, he wasn't in it. Henderson, another one where I think, I'll be honest with you, I probably took it out of everybody's hands. I just said he's got to go. Henderson had to go. Palmer and then Dyer as well. So I think that's a strong squad. So yeah, I think that's a really strong squad. Kane, Foden, Saka, Grealish, Watkins, Tony and Bowen. The other thing where we struggled with is, do we take two strikers? No, three strikers. We've got three strikers here. Kane, Watkins and Tony. We've stuck with that. The comments I've had, though, since this went out, are around, do we actually need three strikers? And I agree. I'm not sure we do. But that's what we've got. That's what we're sticking with. Wait. If you could all let me know in the chat what sort of lag you're getting, whether it's just one or two of you or it's actually quite consistent, because it's quite useful to know. My connection's saying it's absolutely fine, so I don't really know what is going off at the moment. So Dyer at the minute, he came in because we're so short on any other experienced midfielders, and he could arguably play another job at centre-back, and he's playing well. He's finishing the season quite well. Wait. I'm going to put something in the chat. If you guys could answer. Right, let's move it back. There we go. No, I think it's my signal. For some reason tonight. I'm having issues. I don't know if it's my area, but like I said, my signal and my Wi-Fi seem to be okay. It may be YouTube, because everything for me seems to be okay. But apologies if there's any lag or anything. Right, okay, I'm just going to talk. Just let me know in the chat if nothing's coming through, because I will be unaware, because my YouTube thing for some reason isn't... I don't know what it's doing. Right, so... Someone's asking about Henderson. I think Henderson came in because of his experience, because he is playing well. He's playing really well, from what I understand. He is arguably Bayern Munich's best centre-back at the minute, and he is in a Champions League semi-final, potentially final. When he's playing in a position or he can play in a position, I know he doesn't play in midfield now, and he hasn't probably done for a while, but he can play in midfield. He's also an experienced centre-back. So it's one of those where I think he's worth it. I do think he's worth it. We're on a 26-man squad, as mad as it sounds, because I was never, ever going to include him in my squad. I do think he's worth it. What's everybody else's thoughts? And what's everybody else's thoughts on the three strikers? Because I think that's the other issue as well. Three strikers at the minute is probably the biggest concern, even in a 26-man squad, because they're not going to get used. Are we better taking another wide player or another central midfielder? I'd like to know your guys' opinion on that. That is what got the most criticism. That's what got the most comments. Maddison, so Josh Phillips, Maddison's form has been awful recently. He's playing himself out of the squad, He's the one who we were debating about last week. Who comes in for him, though, Josh? I sort of don't disagree with you, and I wouldn't be disappointed if Maddison did not go. But who comes in for him? Yeah, so obviously Gordon isn't in this squad. Gallagher isn't in this squad. Gordon instead of Watkins, Charlie says. I mean, the problem is, I think if Watkins wasn't having any other season apart from this one, he probably wouldn't be going. But he almost has to go, doesn't he? Because how can you leave him out? How can you possibly leave Ollie Watkins out this year? I don't think you can. I mean, another player we've not even thought about here is Dominic Solanke, who not even been mentioned really. You take Gordon over Tony. Now, the thing is about Tony, we need a holding midfielder, a target man up front. We need that. We really do, and that's why I think Tony stays in. Warline's absolutely right. Gallagher was terrible, and that's one of the theories about why he came out. And it was Chilwell was lucky to stay in. I think because we have literally got no one else. That's why he didn't come in. Chilwell didn't come out. If Shaw's fit, Shaw comes in for Chilwell, for me. Kane will be the other starter, and you can use the other two depending on the situation. Okay, if Tony was having a good season for Brentford, the thing is, though, he does offer something different that I don't think Ollie Watkins can have. So that's the squad. We'll come back to this. Because I don't want to... Last week, we did a lot on the squad in terms of... who's going and stuff like that. So that's what is currently out there now. Let's have a look, though, at how the tournament's going to go. In fact, let me go back to the main thing, and let's get the talking points up for this afternoon. So here they are. Euro 2024 as a whole. And the squad, we've just done the squad. Well, we're going to come back to it. The Euro 2024 tournament as a whole, and England play the season. So without further delay, let's have a look. Let's remind ourselves as we're coming into only a month away from the tournament, here's where we're at. And what a tournament it's going to be. So these are the groups, just to remind everybody of where these are. And I have done a prediction video for this. It's done very well. It's the last video I've put out, actually. And again, apologies I haven't been putting content out over this past month. It's been the first time in a while, actually. I've not been consistent with that. But it's almost the calm before the storm, should I say, because I'm going to be putting out 2-3 videos a week over the next few weeks. So I'm probably just taking this breather. As some of you know, I've had a lot going off at home as well, with my dog not being very well and all that sort of stuff, and busy at work. So these live streams have just been a nice, easy way for me to keep the content going without having to put the videos out at the minute. But I will be putting these videos out soon, so do not worry. There will be a preview, of course, for the up-and-coming friendly matches, and the final roundup for the group games, and the predictions for the group games for England as well, when I give my score predictions. But I have done an overall Euro 2024 predictor for the entire tournament, so please check that out. Bought my England shirt the other day, never had the new one for a tournament before. Well, I hope you like it, Josh. Which one did you get, the home or away one? Looking at this, though, Group A, B, C, D, E, F. I mean, there's some really difficult groups. I think the first thing to say here is that it's almost impossible. I mean, it isn't, but it is almost impossible now. The way the tournaments work, because of the numbers, it's almost impossible to get knocked out in the group stage. If you finish third, you're more or less certain to go through to the knockout round. If you win one game, you're more or less certain to go through, based on the fact that you will probably be one of the higher placed third teams. So that's how, not pointless, but the group stage doesn't have that level of threat it probably used to do, and certainly doesn't have the level of threat that the World Cup has, for example. So Group A, Germany, Scotland. Of course, the tournament starts with England's old enemies actually, Germany and Scotland, is the don't tempt fate, Gary. We won't, Dan. We're not going out in the group stage. Honestly, I mean, I will make a pact tonight. If we go out in the group stage, I will do something ridiculous. I don't. We won't. Just don't. Anyway, our old adversaries, Germany and Scotland, open up the tournament. Who do we want to win? I mean, neither is really the best. I tell you what, I'm just going to expand me so you guys can see me a bit better. There we go. So Germany, Scotland is the opening game. Who do we want? Who do we want to win that opening game of the tournament? Let me move that there. There we go. I mean, it'd be interesting either way, wouldn't it? I don't really want either to win it. I do think Germany are now much stronger than people initially anticipated. I really do. And I think I'd rather. I mean, come on, because the Scots now have been on a poor run of form. It's going to be funny, isn't it, if they go there on the opening day and get absolutely turned over, and I mean proper turned over by the Germans. As an England fan, we'd all enjoy it, wouldn't we? I would. I hate to say it, but I would really. And let's be real. Let us be real here. Scotland would absolutely love to see England get battered at this tournament. So a lot of people saying Scotland won't win a game. Germany 3-1. I don't think Scotland doing well because of poor form. Yeah, no, I think Germany. I think people were writing Germany off 6 months ago, 7. For the past couple of years leading up to this tournament, really. I think that's now started to change. They're going to be one of the favourites. I think they're right up there with England and France to win this tournament because it's a home advantage. So yeah, hope your dig can get better. How do you mean, JT? But I think Germany are going to win that. Who else goes through on that group, though? I mean, I think Hungary are strong favourites. We've all been sleeping on Hungary. We all know what they did to England a couple of years back now. So I expect Germany and Hungary to go through and then flip a coin between Scotland and Switzerland. I'm probably going to go for Switzerland, and Scotland are going home in the groups. So Tony, I would go for a draw or a Scotland win. So Tony is an optimistic, not Scott, but he's optimistic Scotland are going to do something. And fair play, I'd like to see them get a little bit of hope before they get absolutely battered. YouTube is silly. Some people are saying Hungary will finish last in Scotland's group. So if we go out in the group, will you wear a Scotland shirt? I will. Yes. 100%. There's no way. There's no way England are going out in this group stage. It would be the biggest shock, almost the biggest shock in football ever, if England go out in the group stage. If England finish bottom of Group C, that'll be the biggest travesty in English football history. Worse than the Croatia game. So someone's saying they reckon Switzerland will get second. Yeah, maybe. I think it is a tight group. And I think it's a bit of a group of death, really. I think Germany, to be fair, I think even though people have underestimated Germany, there's not an easy game in that for Germany. I do think it is a tough group for them. They would have preferred an easier group at home, definitely. But I do think they'll have too much for Scotland on that opening game. Group B, Spain, Croatia, Italy. We know Italy very well, and Albania. I just feel like this has got one of those groups written all over it where Albania could come out of nowhere. It's just everyone's written them off. A bit like Costa Rica in England's group a few years back at the World Cup. They're just that team nobody's talking about. Everybody's sleeping on. Everyone's looking at Spain, Croatia and Italy to try and get points off each other. They're probably, even though they say they won't be, they'll almost be concentrating on each other as well. And I think Albania are going to cause some upsets. I do think that. I think football, we all know football is not straightforward. Whoever you think is going to be first and second isn't likely going to happen. This is why we all love football. If Germany end up winning the tournament after England had been superior for the past 7 years, I think we're cursed. It's mentality, mate. It is mental. England just don't have the balls for it. And I hate that term, but we just don't have the bottle. It's probably a better term when it really, really matters. I could see Albania upset Italy because of Asani masterclass. No way England will go out in the group. Thank you. No, we won't, Nozza. No way. Yeah, but I just feel like it's one of those. Where I just feel like it's just got Albania upset written all over it. I just feel like they're gonna pick some results up here. I think Spain are comfortable favourites in this group, and I am one who's always said, never underestimate Croatia, and everyone keeps doing it. I mean, they've done it now at every tournament for the past three tournaments. Really, they're a really good group, but I just feel Spain are going to probably top it, and then I think Albania could do something. I just think it's one of them where everyone's sleeping on him. It's just football. I think Albania will do something just because football can be weird and anything can happen, and it often does happen at tournaments. And I just feel like this is one of those groups. Everyone's saying everyone's going to easily get 3 points out against Albania. I just don't think it's going to be as straightforward as that. England's group, though, let's talk about it. Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. So, is it 3 from 3? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm saying it's 3 from 3. I'm putting my neck on the line now. And England, bearing in mind, when did England ever last win all 3 games at a tournament in the group stage? It might be sooner than what I think. It's hard to remember all tournaments. Obviously, England open against Serbia on the 16th of June. So Serbia first, then I believe it's Denmark second, and then we finished against Slovenia on the 25th of June. So 16th of June, Serbia. That's a Sunday. 20th of June, Denmark, which is a Thursday at 5 o'clock. So make sure you get home from work if you're one of those that work 9 to 5. And Tuesday, it is England, Slovenia at 8 o'clock, I believe, England time. So they're on at good times. They are on at good times. I did fear that I'd have to book some annual leave, but they're all on at good times to watch the games. It's got to be 3 from 3. What we're saying? I mean, surely 3 from 3 for England. What's so good about Albania then? Nothing. I nothing at all. There's nothing from a footballing perspective that makes me think Albania would cause an upset. It's just football does this. Football historically always causes upsets, particularly teams where you put them in a group and think they're not going to do anything. I just feel like it's just got football written all over it that Albania will cause a few upsets in that group. No matter the order, all of England's games should be challenging. But I think England are far better than all 3. Far better. I genuinely... I mean, there's that. So Kurt's come in and said, hopefully we'll win our first 2 games so we can mess some of our top players for the last 16. Southgate, will he do that? Would he do that? Is Southgate the type of manager where if we're already through and we've won our first 2 games, because the likelihood is, even after 2 games, you'd be fighting to top the group. Would he play a strong team, or would he play a second string team in that 3rd game if we've won our opening 2? And I know this is sounding like really arrogant at the minute. You know, I'm even talking about what would we play in our 3rd game because we've already smashed the group. But I don't know. I mean, a few people said that. Dan's come in and said the same. I put Slovenia second over Serbia. He did against Belgium. He did actually. Yeah, fair play, he did. Serbia should be good, but they are average at very best. Southgate has done that. Yeah, so he probably will do. I mean... Who is the toughest team in this? I've really struggled. I think all 3. I don't think you can put much between Slovenia, Denmark, or Serbia. I really don't. Slovenia and Denmark were both in the same qualification group and both finished on the same amount of points. They couldn't really be separated in qualifying. I don't genuinely think there's a huge gap in talent between all 3 teams. Yeah, you would maybe say Denmark on paper with the players, maybe, but they're not playing that well. They're not winning games comfortably. They weren't great in qualifying. Or tricky, in my opinion, says Theodore. And I think people are a little bit on the fence here. I think Serbia is the toughest, followed by Slovenia. I've never known an England group at any tournament where you ask probably 10 different people who the next toughest team is within our group, and you could get different answers. You know, you could get someone who arguably could pick one of each team. Somebody could easily pick Slovenia, Denmark, or Serbia. And I think that does that mean that this group is tougher than what I'm saying, or does it mean they're all poor? I think most people will probably say the first in terms of this group is tougher because they're all pretty strong. But I hate to say, I have never been more confident about England going into a group stage than this ever. And I trust me, I am the worst opening day fan at a tournament. I always think winning the first game is the most important. It's shown in Southgate's reign. You go to a tournament, the first game, if you get a win, it sets you on your way. Your confidence is there. You already got points on the board. You almost haven't got to worry about it. If you don't get a win on the first game, you're almost constantly chasing the tournament all the time. And you don't want your second game into a tournament already to have this massive pressure on it, because that means every then is going to be like that. You want to get that first win. First win is so important for morale and everything. And I'm usually then one of those fans that go into it dead pessimistic. England historically have a terrible record. Not under Southgate, but historically England terribly have not a great record in opening fixtures at tournaments. We really do not. And we don't have a great record in group stages. We get through them, but we don't often top them. We very rarely win all 3 games. And we very rarely, outside of Southgate, win the opening game of a tournament. But I look at this group, and honestly, guys, I'm so confident. I really am. I am really, really confident. Sesko is probably the strongest non-English player in this group. Serbia coach Stojkovic should be sacked after the tournament. He is not good. Theodore said that in 2010 and we struggled. But this is a different... Since Southgate, this is a different England mentality completely, and a completely different team. Gone up another level. Was Greece winning the Euros a fluke? All they did was part the bus, and finally they got completely dominated at the final. Well, that's football. With England's squad, we will win all 3. Denmark will tighten up, play clever, and have... Hoyland, they may draw against us. We should have a reasonably straightforward team in the last 16 for me. Out of tournament truly begins in the quarterfinals. If we go out in the group, I'm blaming you, Gary. Josh, we're not going out in the group. We're not going out. Just trust me. Just trust me. I think Serbia game will be another England versus Iran game. What, another 6? What was it? 6-2? take that. England 5, Serbia 1. Genuinely, I just... And like I said, this comes from nowhere. I mean, under Southgate, it's different, like I keep saying, but I don't fear anybody. I look at every single one of these games and I think England should not only win them, but win them comfortably. And I know you might say we've said this in the past, but you almost had that feeling England can be terrible at a tournament, but I'm being honest, England at a tournament under Southgate, particularly in the group stage, were pretty bloody good. We are very good, actually. The worst performance we've ever put in, probably under Southgate at a group stage, was the USA game. But you could argue the way it worked out, it was always... He never wanted to go for the win. He just seemed happy with the draw in that. Not that, not taking anything away from the US, but England in group stages just seemed to find it comfortable. And the quality of the teams that England have been putting away over recent years and the performances we've been putting in, I just can't see anything other than a comfortable England victory in all of them. People are saying no, I think that's the England of old. Under Southgate, you don't see many of them bore draws. I mean, I could be completely wrong. And it's just England again, isn't it? England fans getting themselves all hyped up and then the same old crap when you get to the tournament. But I don't think it will be. I think we'll win all three. I think England will win all three. Scotland in the last year. Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah. It's that middle game, isn't it? So if we win, and it's the same this time around. So you would probably say on paper, Denmark arguably are the toughest team. Like Scotland in probably the Euros. I know we started with Croatia, but England-Scotland's always a bit of a different kettle of fish, isn't it? Like US in the second game at the World Cup, you would argue that second game is the one as an England manager you probably fear the most. If we get a win in the opening game against Serbia, is he going to be conservative in the second game, knowing a draw guarantees us to go through? I don't know, but I think we should comfortably win all three games. Has anyone bought the official tournament magazine? Got mine the other day, and it's brilliant. Is it just one off, Josh? I don't often buy magazines now, I have to say. I think a dominant win to start, and then 2 1-0s. I'm going to love Scotland getting battered. yeah. I mean, they've got to do something. Scotland was slightly different just because of the rivalry, exactly. But I don't know. I just think I look at that. There's no one I fear. Good evening, Russ. Anyway, hope you're all right, mate. My only concern is what happens when we play a team who can play back. We haven't won a knockout game against a top 10 side under Southgate yet. Yeah, we know, definitely, Kurt, we know the problems in a tournament against a top team. Other than Germany, who weren't good at the time. Well, they were, you can't underestimate that. But other than Germany game, we haven't beat a real top team in a knockout game. Argentina lost their first game last World Cup. Spain did it 2010. 82, Italy didn't win a single group game. Portugal didn't either, did they? When they won it. 66, England didn't win the opening game. Portugal won Euro 2016 without... Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. It doesn't... I mean, the thing is... And I've always said this, you don't have to be the best at a tournament. They're all one-off games, aren't there? A handful of one-off games. It's not a league. You're not playing each other twice. Bohemian has just mentioned a number of teams there that have won tournaments who arguably weren't playing the best football but went on to win. The lose second channel, England win this. BBO, true stats. So, I mean, are we saying... I'm saying three wins. 3 wins across the board. Whether you guys think the same, I do not know. But let's have a look. It's only fair then. We've had a look at the England side of the group. It's only fair then that we have a look at the groups below. So we've got Poland, Netherlands, Austria and France. Interesting group. I don't rate Poland. I didn't rate Poland in my predictions before this tournament. I don't think they're getting out of this group. I think Netherlands, Austria and France. I mean, France, they should walk it, shouldn't they? Again, 3 victories. I think France should win 3 victories there. Flip of a coin then, who comes in second and third? I do honestly believe that. Group E, Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, Ukraine. Ukraine, obviously, the playoff. Great to see them there. It should be a walk in the park for Belgium. It really should be. And then Group F, Turkey, Georgia, Portugal and Czechia. Portugal should top it, shouldn't they? And then, yeah, I mean, Turkey, I think it was a YouTube channel. Someone was saying Turkey's every single tournament, Turkey are the everyone's dark horse. But whether they do anything, they never do. I mean, in terms of tournament, they have less bottle than England, but yeah. I mean, it's an exciting tournament. It's a really exciting tournament, and some really good groups. Group A, B, D, maybe England's because of the other teams that are quite evenly matched. They're all pretty good groups. If we win our group, we get a third place team from either Group D, E or F. We might get Holland or the Netherlands, as they like to be called. I have Slovakia third over Romania now. The thing is, Kurt, I don't fear anybody. I know if anybody's watched my preview video, if anybody's watched it, well, go and watch it. I don't fear anybody, but I do think there's only one team. I do think there is a team in this tournament that can knock England out. So, Josh, I don't usually get magazines either, except this one. It's $5.99. Come with wall chart and has a long interview with Southgate and profiles all the teams. It's brilliant. So that does interest me because I want a wall chart. I mean, I'll wait for a free one out of the paper, but I'll be honest with you, I'm quite particular about a wall chart. I like the one where I can put the groups in and everything like that. So I may have a look at that. You'll have to send me a picture, Josh, of what the wall chart's like, because I will pay money for a good wall chart. But anyway, that's the tournament. We'll definitely have another look as we get closer. But I'm really excited. It's just going to be so good. It's going to be so good. I think the fact that it's in Germany, I'm really glad as well. It's going back to one country hosting it, which is, I just love that. The fact you're going to have a tournament that has that cultural background. It's not spread out over 1,000 miles, and it's just so good to have one country hosting the tournament. And I just think, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to it. England player of the season as well. So I want to start to look at now. Phil Foden, as we all know, has been announced. Is it the Writers' Player of the Year or something like that? Phil Foden has won an award. Anyway, he won an award. He's had a good season. He's had a very good season. Who's been the England Player of the Year, though, in the Premier League? Let's say, well, anywhere. Let's say anywhere. But let's say Premier League, because we know Harry Kane's had a very good season. And this is where, straight in, Josh Phillips, Ollie Watkins. I couldn't disagree with you. Cole Palmer, I could not disagree with you. Rice, I could not disagree with you. Let's get real. This is when you start to realise, Jesus Christ, we are stacked. And I mean stacked. There are some absolutely... I mean, I do get a bit annoyed when players don't get recognition because they don't play for a team that wins a trophy. So let's say, for example, some people will say, if Arsenal win the league, Rice should get player of the England player of the year. You know, he should be one of those players that gets player of the year. If we're just picking an England player of the year, I get that, but it's a team sport, so I don't fully buy it. I'm looking at the scoring chart. Cole Palmer is currently second in the Premier League with 21 goals, 4 behind Erling Haaland, playing in a Chelsea team that's been in absolute shambles. Top 6, and I think this is a good top 6. I've just got to call this out straight away. Watkins, Rice, Bellingham, Palmer, Foden, Kane. I don't think anybody is going to disagree with that, Josh. I don't think there's anybody else that's missing from that. Maybe Solanke. You might push Solanke, given the fact that the team is at and what he's done. Maybe. I mean, Jared Bowen as well. The thing is about Foden, I get he's had a good season, but he scored, I think, but let me have a look. Like, Phil Foden scored exactly the same amount of goals this year as Bukayo Saka and Jared Bowen. Dominic Solanke has scored 2 more. Granted, he probably plays higher at the pinch. Ollie Watkins has scored 3 more. Cole Palmer scored 5 more. If I go on to assists, let me have a look. If we go on to assists, Ollie Watkins is at the top with 12 assists. So, in terms of goals involvement, Ollie Watkins is right up there. But then you start to look at Anthony Gordon, who's assisted 10 goals this year. Currently joint third best in the Premier League. Kieran Trippier, who's been injured, is currently joint second in the league for assists. Cole Palmer is joint third with 9 assists. Saka with 9 assists. Foden is further down with 8. I get the love for Phil Foden. I still don't think he's as good as a Saka, or I mean, he's probably better than Bowen. I'd say that, but he's not. Has Phil Foden had a better season than Palmer? The numbers say not. The numbers really do say not. What's the United scores? Let me have a look. I've not even had a look. But I think Palmer's had a better season than Foden. That's what I'm saying. So Man United are 1-0 down against Palace. I've loved seeing Palmer's swagger now. It's this season. Really unusual to see an English player. Yeah. Portugal and either Turkey or Georgia should go through. I'm confident that Foden is better than Saka. Are you really? I'm not. I really am not. I think Saka has been for a number of years better than Foden. Saka's been doing what Foden's been doing this season for the past 2-3 years. I just don't. I get the hype, and I think a little bit of it is because he plays for Man City. I don't buy the overhype though. Don't get me wrong. I think he's quality. I think Phil Foden is absolutely quality. I also think there's others there that are just as good, if not better, and arguably better at the minute. I would argue in the Premier League. Let's take Bellingham and Kane out of this. I would argue in the Premier League, Palmer has been the best English player this year. Maybe with Rice. As daft as that sounds. I know it's not all about goals and assists. I think those two have been probably the best 2 players, English players this season. Saka is really good. I think Palace players under Glasner can get in the England squad. Greenwood, no. I don't want him anywhere near an England squad again. Cole Palmer being good this season. He has been very good. And I do think... I do think a little bit is Foden so up there because of the Man City factor. And I know Man City are probably going to win the league, but I don't buy this. If the team wins the league, that means that player should win Player of the Year. It's a team sport at the end of the day. I think Foden is better than Saka, but for England, Saka has been so much better than Foden so far. Saka is better at scoring and drifting in the box from wide, but for the rest, would say Foden is superior. It is a tough one. It is a tough one. But you can't ignore Cole Palmer's numbers this season. I think when you put it as well, I would put him higher, not because Man City are winning the league, but as a result of how poor Chelsea's been. You know, surely a true testament of how a player is can he still perform regardless of the rest of the team. No, Kurt, I sort of agree. So Kurt's saying, I feel like Foden hasn't really been given a proper chance for England yet. Is that just me? I do sort of agree, but at the same time, you could probably argue he hasn't seized his opportunities neither. And Saka has. And it does simply come down to that. The point of the fact is, up until this season, Foden simply hasn't scored or assisted enough. And you could argue, with the amount of games he plays, I mean, maybe not this season. Maybe it would be harsh to say this season, but... He doesn't do enough. I mean, I'm looking at he's got 8 assists this year. You just feel like the games he plays and the team is in, he should get more. Would Saka get a lot? Would Saka get more if he was playing in that Man City team? Maybe. I think there's an argument there that he maybe would. Palmer is on fire at the moment. He absolutely is. Saka, bar Kane, is arguably the most important part in our front three due to the tracking back. Especially for England in goals, I've discussed this on the channel before. There's no goals in this England squad in an England shirt outside of Harry Kane and Saka. None. No one else scores. Foden's biggest moments for England were the 2 assists against Senegal. Yeah, they were. Yeah, and he played well in that. He did play well in that. He played well in that tournament, to be fair. He had a good tournament. He did have a good tournament. Bellingham, Rashford, Sterling, Henderson. What's that? Rashford and Sterling and Henderson. Why are they on the same list as Bellingham? I feel like Bellingham is destined to be the main man in the midfield attack. His mentality just stands out. Yeah, that's worrying. It is. I mean, if you're referring to England's goal scorers, it is worrying. We do not have, and I've said this countless times on this channel, there is nowhere near enough goals in this squad. Nowhere near. Not in an England shirt. There is at club level now, but there isn't an England shirt. These players in England shirt do not score and assist enough. Bellingham is the best for the England team. Yeah. I mean, hopefully, either Harry Kane or Jude Bellingham will be Champions League winners before the tournament. I'll be honest with you, I wish they were both in separate semi-finals so they'd both go out in the semi-final, because I don't want either of them playing that Champions League final late in May. I don't want either of them anywhere near that, but because they're both in the semi-final, one of them's going to be. Who's more important, Kane or Bellingham? Probably Kane. I think without Kane, there's a huge drop-off in the talent up front. But, yeah, one of them hopefully will be Champions League winning, absolutely bouncing. Have a rest for those friendlies and come into that opening game as strong as you like. England versus Spain final Euro. England win 3-2. This England team are going to do a number on France. I bloody hope so. I mean, just imagine. I mean, England fans in the room now. Come on, imagine England in a quarter-final or a semi-final against a Spain, a France, even a Germany now. Because if we beat Germany in their own back garden, this would be a completely different... Even though it was an amazing result at the previous Euros, it would be something else again if we beat them in their backyard. Imagine if we got that, if we finally got a victory against the top team. I think it's then England's. I think we're one victory mentally away from winning the tournament. On an elite level, Foden is very slightly overrated, but truly has world-class potential and is very nearly there. Yeah, no, I completely agree. He's taking a big step this year. Defenders, Walker, Trippier, Stones, Maguire, Konza, Branthwaite, Lewis, Shaw and Mitchell. Yeah, I mean, Shaw will be an interesting one, whether he comes... I mean, he can't, surely, can he? He's not going to be fit. He's not going to be fit. As daft as that sounds, because Shaw's quality, but he's just not going to be fit. Mbappe gets injured on the Champions League final. Yes, I mean, we don't want to wish anybody injury, do we? But I wouldn't disregard it. I mean, I think France without Mbappe don't win the tournament. Oh, I just seen Jack Jones miss a relatively easy black. Palmer had penalties. Foden hasn't. Yeah, attackers, Foden. Yeah, but even without penalties, I think Palmer's had a better season than Foden. I'm sorry. I do think that. Sure, he's expected back soon. Yeah, but I think it's going to be too late. I mean, probably... I don't think for Southgate it will be, because he really likes Shaw. And there's no doubt Luke Shaw in England shirt has put in some absolutely brilliant performances. But it's just... I think it might be too soon. Barca is Barca's Champions League and the Spanish League versus Girona. Okay. Really worry about the left back. Yeah, I think we're all gonna. The left back is the gap. Chilwell was just. God, I mean, Chilwell just needs to find his form. Needs to find the form that was almost pushing Luke Shaw out a couple of years back. At the minute, it's a bloody liability for England. Kane is 100% more important than anyone, not because of his goals, but the psychology effects his absence would have on the team. I think his build-up play as well. He brings the entire team into play. Has he just fluked it? I can't believe it. Kyron Wilson, I think, just fluked to black 17-11. I think the World Championship's over, isn't it? One more frame. Chilwell isn't playing ahead of Cucurella. Shaw might be like Walker and join on game 3. I mean, at the minute, I would play either Trippier, some Panther King, yes. Just as I was saying, I'd play Trippier left back. I really would. He was so poor. Chilwell was so poor. He really was. So, I think, are we saying probably between Palmer and Foden for English Player of the Year in the Premier League? If we then bring in Bellingham and Kane, who out of those 4 is the overall England player of the season, would we say? Unless someone else wants to chuck another player in the hat. Yeah, I agree, E, in regards to Trippier. We're really poor outside Luke Shaw. So, yeah. Who's in Player of the Year? Who are we going for? Might do a video on this, actually. Palmer, yes, Real Madrid won over City because of Trippier is finished at this level. No, he's not. He's got one more tournament left in him, Trippier. The Euro squad goalkeepers have to be Pickford, Dean Anderson and Butland. You know what I say. I just think... could you say Palmer? Really, the England Player of the Year? It's hard to... Or Rice. Sorry, Rice was the other one. So Palmer, Rice, Bellingham or Kane. Which one of those 4 would you say is the Player of the Year? England Player of the Year? Or Ollie Watkins? Let's chuck his name in the hat. In fact, you have got to chuck Ollie Watkins' name in the hat. Absolutely. Has to be Jude. He's the face of Real Madrid. Generally incredible what he's done at this age. You're probably right. I mean, the fact that he's gone to Real Madrid in his first year and made such a big impact at 20 years old, it's rare, isn't it? It's rare. And it's not just about the goals in the season. He's obviously been scoring. You would probably argue Jude Bellingham has been England's the best English player this season. I think the amazing thing is that you've got 4, 5, maybe 6 players who really, any other season, would probably win it. And that's how stacked this England team is. Could be argued that Palmer will be better than Foden. Yeah, JT, that's what we've just been saying, definitely. I would say Palmer's had a better season than Foden. Yeah, I think he can. Josh. Yeah. But it's just been, Player of the Year. Have a think. I might put a poll out. I think there's 4 good players. Rice, Palmer, Kane and Bellingham. Oh, Ben White. Yeah. You know what? He's been good, hasn't he? He has been very good. He's been very, very good. It's a good shout, Kurt. I sort of put Ben White out of my mind because he was such a knob at the last England squad. To be honest, outside of Kane, I'd say Pickford is our most important player because outside of him, the only goalkeeper who's actually looked decent in England shirt is Johnston, which says a lot. Yeah, no, absolutely. I've said that before as well on this channel. Kane and Jordan Pickford are England's most important 2 players because they're both... Oh, it's all falling apart. They're both irreplaceable. They're both irreplaceable in England shirt. If Bellingham does what he did against the Belgium last-minute winner in the final, the greatest England player ever. Stones is still the most important England player for me. Yeah, I can see that. But for me, it would be between Kane and Pickford, followed by a close third for Stones, I'd say. So, where you all watching it? So, I want to know. I mean, war charts. We'll do a clip on war charts next week because I do love a war chart. I'm going to dig out some of my older war charts from the previous tournaments and see what we've got because I do love a good war chart. Where you all watching it? Where's everybody from? Who you supporting? Stick it in the chat. I genuinely want to know. Who have we got in? Is it all England fans? Have we got fans from other countries on tonight? Welcome. If so, if you're new here, please, just hit that subscribe button. If you're watching in the background and not joining in the chat, hit that subscribe button. It really does help. We're just here enjoying the football, building up every single week. These are usually every Sunday. It's just a bit difficult sometimes for me to get online, but be watching it from down in Devon. Any news on the Discord, or have I missed it? No, not yet. I will get one set up. To be honest with you, I'm umming and ahhing, not a Patreon, but some sort of, do I make the Discord some sort of bonus feature where, you know, in return, maybe, you know, some support from guys. I don't know. I want to look at where I can maybe get something from the channel to support me to make more content, because it is difficult for me to find the time and equipment and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, there's some people on here that have been here a long time and keep coming back, and it's about, you know, how do I make sure that those guys get, you know, the priority and respect and stuff like that. And, you know, and I'm just trying to look at how I can make it work, because along with the Discord channel, as long as doing the YouTube and everything else like that, it's a lot of work. And I would love to do this more often. I'd love to dedicate more hours to it. And unfortunately, that means I need some support to be able to do that. So, but the Discord channel is definitely something I want to get set up as well as like a WhatsApp thing. Something, I don't know. There's a few things I've got in mind, definitely. I would have said Palmer, but he's hardly played for England yet. Watching games very early in the morning in Japan. So Bohemian, are you English living in Japan, or are you Japanese? Watching from Bristol. Hopefully we'll be at final and not Iceland in Latvia. See, I think this is so cool. People from all over the world in here tonight. Down in Hampshire mostly. Might get a cheeky trip to London in for the knockout game though. Brilliant. I hope England finally win the Euros, but in reality Germany, Spain or France is going to win. No, Darius. I think, you know, I was reading somewhere regarding I think it was getting the reaction of some of the, you know, the French fans, and the German fans, and they're fearing England. Trust me, they are definitely fearing. None of them want to play us. A lot of them, not just the English now, have England as one of the favourites. Trust me. Salisbury, lovely part of the world. Portsmouth, lovely part of the world. We'll be on holidays in Benidorm for the Denmark game. That Panther King. That is going to be... Yeah, you're going to have a good time there, mate. You're going to have definitely a good time there. This just feels like England's time. It's got 2003 Rugby World Cup vibes. Love that. I think you said earlier that you said your wife's French, didn't you? I think I remember you putting that. I'm English, but my wife is French. Yeah, so plenty of banter in my house. Well, yeah, hopefully we don't get them. Big well done on promotion. I've always liked Portsmouth from Brum. Yeah, Portsmouth and Derby went up this season. But yeah, no, I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. That who was the chap? Bohemian replied, yeah. I want to know if he's actually Japanese or he's from Japan or he's from England living in Japan. What sort of kick-off time looking in Japan? Bohemian. Watching from Birmingham, not far from me then. Saints going to do the double next season. I'm divorcing her if they knock us out again. I'm English, teach English and university students in Japan. Might do a sweepstake, free entry with me putting up a prize, not gambling for the students. No, I think that's a good idea, mate. How's the interest out there? You know, are Japanese fans, I know that obviously they like English football and the Premier League and all that sort of stuff, but with it being the Euros, is there interest in Japan for these games, for this tournament? Kickoffs 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. I think, yeah, that's tough though, isn't it? Sort of kills the interest a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, even if you want to watch it, that's dedication to, particularly on a weeknight, to get up and watch them. England, France, my imaginary nation, Salami, Spain, the favourites, Croatia, Belgium, Slovenia, Slovakia, and Albania. I mean, last World Cup there was no interest until Japan beat Spain and Germany. Okay, that's interesting. That's really interesting. It is interesting, particularly the Euros. We know the fascination sometimes that the World Cup can have, but even then, it seems like the World Cup didn't really have an interest until they were winning, you know, started doing well. But I genuinely don't know who watches the Euros outside of Europe. I know the time difference makes it difficult, but it's always nice to hear people living in different parts of the world, to know if it's just us Europeans who are looking forward to it, or it's going to get a real global audience. I mean, the final will probably, won't it? But it's partly me sharing some culture with them, you know. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, no, I mean, I need to get a war chart. And usually, I don't want to go and buy one, because if you get one online, they're like £6-7 and you get them free online through the paper, obviously. But I don't just want one where you fill the scores out. I like it where you can put the groups in after they've finished as well, and you can put the wins, the goal difference. Not all of them come with that, and I'm already making sacrifices for the next World Cup because there's going to be that many bloody teams in it. The wall chart would have to be like wallpaper. It'd have to be the size of the room to fit everything on. So I am already prepared for wall charts to get worse as the World Cups come along, but I'm sure I can get a good wall chart for the Euros. I love a good wall chart. I hope some of you guys do, but I really do. The Euros is second most watched tournament worldwide, believe it or not. Now, I do believe that. I just, when you hear those sorts of figures, though, you think, what does that mean for the average person living in Japan or the US or Australia, or what does that, or India? What do the average person actually watch it? I mean, it wouldn't take a lot, only a small percent of those people in those countries to watch it to make it such a worldwide event. But do they actually watch it, or is it just it's on? I'm going to do everything I can get to the final if England are to get there. The alternative will be me watching in Latvia, and winning it will be like, say, celebrating in COVID quarantine. The one I was on about has that. Brilliant, Josh. Yeah, that's what you want. You want that. Absolutely, you want that. Go big or go home on war charts, because you want to be able to look back. I mean, I get them out and I'm just like, yeah, dead cool. Yeah, well, I did put this up instead of the blackboard. I had the blackboard that was down there, and I didn't like it, so I put that up. But you still can't see anything; it reflects the light. I wanted something where I can put something up, and I can write stuff on, and have a little playful thing with it. But I don't know. World Cup average qualifying of team is better and outside of Argentina. Most of the teams who hate us are in the Europe, so better to win. Nothing better than games finishing than going out to fill the war chart in. Exactly. May it happen for you, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Right. What time are we? I mean, we've been an hour. Thank you all so much. Once again, it's been another great afternoon. I know it's not a Sunday, but it felt like one, hasn't it? Because of the bank holiday. It's bank holiday in the UK. So for those that are watching, not in England, I don't know how many are on here, but obviously it would usually be a Sunday night. It hasn't been because of the bank holiday. So yeah, thank you all for joining me tonight instead of last night, because it has been difficult. I will be on next Sunday, but not the following Sunday. I am away on holiday in Wales, actually, but I may then do another bonus feature. But it doesn't matter, because there will be videos then coming. I will be putting more videos out now. Do you have any advice on starting a YouTube channel? I was thinking of starting one. Just do it, is my advice. Just crack on and do it. Have a passion and just do it. That's my advice. There's not a lot else I can say. Use your phone. I'm intending to take a week off for my job during the week starting the 13th. Brilliant. I mean, yeah, everyone get your annual leave in if you need it. Now's the time to start to get ready. Thank you all so much for watching. Next week, I keep thinking it's Sunday. This week, probably Wednesday or Thursday night, I'll put my first video out that I haven't done in a while, and then the following week there'll be more videos then flowing. I'll put some preview videos out for the up and coming games. Next Sunday, this Sunday, will be another live stream, but then the following week not so much. But thank you all so much for watching, and we've covered a lot. We've looked at the whole tournament. We've gone back over our squad. Let's just have a final look at the squad, shall we? Let's have a final look just to make sure. There we go. That's the final squad we came up with. I mean, look at that. That is a stacked squad, isn't it? That is so good. I mean, we'd all be happy. I know we probably won't. There's always going to be the odd player that people aren't going to be happy about. Henderson, Dyer, whatever. None of us are going to be really that disappointed, though, if that goes to the Euros, are we? We're really not. And that should still get us the trophy. Yeah, Ramsdale and Gahey shouldn't be there. So, yeah, I get that. There's going to be the odd few, but that's a strong squad. Absolutely a strong squad, and I would be happy if Southgate named that in a few weeks' time. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been brilliant. I hope you all have a fantastic week at work, school, at home, whatever you have planned. We're here. Make sure you keep checking this channel out over the Euros. This is where, come and support England here. If you're not an English fan, just come and have a chat with us anyway. It's all about the tournament, all covering it here. I'm just a normal fan from the UK. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all